Hello everyone, this is GH. This week, Pokemon Sleep introduced Island 6, along with new Pokemon and recipes. I won't go into the basic information about the islands, since everyone can see that. I want to take this opportunity, with the 2 island updates this year, to explain the current game mechanics and team strategies in 2 video episodes for your reference. In this episode, I'll talk about the game's mechanics and future direction.
Earlier this year, I mentioned in an episode that the game would become more balanced over time. After several updates, the gap between the 3 types of Pokemon has indeed narrowed. Berry Pokemon saw a significant energy drop after a bug fix earlier this year. But the energy output of Berry Pokemon on the corresponding islands remains relatively high. So there were no updates targeting Berry Pokemon this year. For Ingredient Pokemon, new Ingredient-type Pokemon have replaced the previously low-yield Ingredient Pokemon. Currently, the yield of Ingredient Pokemon for almost all ingredients can meet the recipe requirements. Additionally, new recipes were introduced. The first recipe update increased the base energy of the highest recipes by about 4,000, and the second update increased it by about 7,000. The third point is the increase in pot limits and recipe levels, indirectly boosting the benefits of eating. The fourth point is the new skill-type Pokemon, Deden, and the corresponding recipe energy doubling event, making all players aiming for Master 20 pay more attention to the benefits of eating. The role of Deden is explained in this episode, so if you're interested, you can check it out. Lastly, skill Pokemon saw an increase in main skill levels, and skills can now accumulate once. These are the changes in game balance. Next, let's talk about the second island updates, Island 5 and Island 6. The opening of Island 5 and Island 6 was 6 months apart, and they have the following common points. First, the new islands definitely have new berries. Second, the new islands have new ingredients and corresponding ingredient Pokemon, as well as new highest recipes, and most of the ingredients in the recipes are not compatible with previous recipes. The third point is the increase in map limits and pot limits. The fourth point is the energy increment for Master 20, and Island 6 directly increased from the previous 500,000 to 1.5 million. Finally, let's talk about the current game mechanics. First is the game's resources, mainly the resources needed for Pokemon leveling. Let's take a level 10 Pokemon as an example. Through the Candy Enhancement event, to level up from 10 to 50, we need 569 candies and about 350,000 Dream Shards. To level up from 50 to 60, we need 430 candies and 740,000 Dream Shards. This means that the higher the level, the more Dream Shards are consumed when using the Candy Enhancement event. If we can earn 100,000 Dream Shards per week, that's 400,000 per month. Without relying on sleep experience, it takes about 2.5 months to level up a Pokemon to level 60, plus 1,000 candies.
If you find this acceptable, there's also the pot limit increase, which requires Dream Shards. Increasing the pot limit from 57 to 69 requires 1.23 million Dream Shards, which is another 3 months. So Dream Shards are very important in the later stages. The above summarizes some basic information about the game this year. Now, I'll share my personal predictions for the game's future. These are just my personal views for reference. First, there should be a new island in 6 months, with the remaining 3 types of berries. With the island updates, new Pokémon, new recipes, pot limits, map limits, and the energy required for Master 20 on Island 7 will also increase. Second, skill-type Pokémon should be further strengthened, and there may be updates related to Dream Shards. Lastly, Pokémon levels will continue to increase. The main reason for this episode is to derive the current pet selection and leveling strategies. In the next episode, we'll introduce the various gameplay and operational suggestions in detail.